We're going to talk about the Pietro Nera Alisio Sassella red wine from the very north of Italy. Excited to tell you a few things about that. As of the end of February, we're in 13 establishments around the state of Maryland, some retailers, some restaurants. So if you visit our website, visit the link in our profile, you can see where our wines are carried. And we thank everybody that's actually gone to those places and looked for our wines and made some purchases. With that all kind of behind us now, you may have noticed in the month of February we did a spotlight on the Pietro Nera Alisio Sassella. And again, this is from the very north of Italy. So this is a special region of Italy. It's not very well known. It's in the very north, and you can see it's close to Switzerland. You can see the Alps. The grapes are grown in very steep vineyards, and they're so steep that they can't be tended with machines. Everything has to be hand done in the vineyards. It's actually a little bit treacherous due to the slopes of the vines. However, they also grow Nebbiolo in that part of Italy. So we think in Nebbiolo, it's the same grape as Barolo or Barbaresco. Typically, you find Barolo that comes from the region of Italy called Piemonte, which is also in the north, but it sits to the south of where the Valtellina is. And the effect of that is in Piemonte, you get a little bit more Mediterranean climates, so the Nebbiolo expresses itself in the wine differently. Go to the Valtellina in the very north, where, again, close to the Alps. So if you think about it, you've got these cool alpine breezes that flow through there. But the other thing that's special about the Valtellina, and if you ever visit Valtellina, let one of us know, because we have some places that we could send you when you go there. But you can actually taste the difference in the wine as you taste from different parts of Valtellina. It's similar to Burgundy, it's similar to Napa, it's similar to other places where you have these different sort of climate effects within a fairly small area of geography. So in the Valtellina, you have there's five major vineyard regions. This region that we're tasting from tonight is Sassella. Sassella is known to be more mineral forward in how the Nebbiolo expresses itself. Another region in Valtellina is called Inferno. Inferno, of course, in Italian means hell. And it means hell because those vineyards get more sun exposure, but it's also hell to work because the vineyards are so steep that you have to make sure you don't harm yourself physically by working them. But anyway, that being said, we're in Sassella. The grower is Pietro Nera. They are a third-generation producer in Italy. They've been in this region for a long time. They're a notable producer. They've gotten acclaim over the years for their wines, and we are very happy to bring the Nera family and the wines of Pietro Nera to the state of Maryland. So again, this is a Valtellina Superiore, which Valtellina Superiore means it's Nebbiolo grapes, and they are aged for a minimum of a year in barrels and a minimum of 2 years total in order to qualify for the Valtellina DOCG. Again, a Nebbiolo wine. So we want to talk a little bit about our impressions of the wine, and I'm going to start with Stacy.
Sure. Okay. Got my wine right here. So as for color, it's still got that ruby color, similar to maybe not as deep, for anyone who has trouble seeing. Maybe not as deep as the ones from Piedmont, but still got that similar color. On the nose, you get the cherry, you get violet. It's more fruit forward of an expression. You get less of that tar and less of that rose, I want to say. And as you were saying, like, minerality does come through. As I'm tasting it, it's got good acidity. And even though it is a lighter style wine, the tannins are still there. They're just not as grippy. So definitely a different expression of Nebbiolo. I know in Valtellina they refer to it as Chiavenasca. So those are my thoughts.
You nailed the pronunciation of Chiavenasca,
yes.
Which is the local word for Nebbiolo. Lucretia, I'm going to save you for last because it'll be evident why.
Yeah.
So I'll talk about my impressions of this wine. So as Stacy mentioned, as a Nebbiolo, this is it's actually a thinner skinned grape. So the color of Nebbiolo can be a little bit surprising if you know about its reputation from Barolo, which it's a really grippy red wine. Color-wise, it's on the lighter side. It's a little bit less intense. In my glass, I'm seeing it as ruby, but trending to garnet on the rim, and that kind of lines up with about a 5-year-old bottle of wine at this point, or 5-year-old wine in a bottle. Aroma-wise, I get a very fresh character to the fruit, so like a fresh cherry, a fresh raspberry. You get a little bit of a fresh cut rose in it, and you also get a little minerality. On the palate, you get the acidity of a Nebbiolo, which tends to be rather high. That helps it to be age-worthy. Body-wise, I would probably call this a medium to maybe a little bit medium plus in the body, but not a heavy wine. Alcohol about medium. The tannin in this is medium to maybe medium plus, and this is the major difference of the Nebbiolo from the Chiavenasca from the Valtellina region. Is it's much less grippy. It's a little bit finer, and it actually makes it a little bit of an easier to drink red wine. So very refreshing. We have a dish that we could pair this with, and if you go through our posts, we posted a recipe for something called pizzoccheri, which would be a buckwheat noodle cabbage dish from the very north of Italy. Kind of a rustic dish, a little bit more alpine than the rest of Italian cuisine, and certainly worth trying, but would be a great accompaniment to this wine. So with that being said, Lucretia, we had a plan, and the plan kind of went south when the courier didn't come through. So what did you have to drink this evening?
So I, fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know how you want to look at it. I say fortunately, but earlier this year in probably September, we made some homemade wine that is a Nebbiolo. I don't know if there's other things in it. They just said it was a Nebbiolo, and we bottled it, I think, just before Christmas, like the end of November, beginning of December. So I had some of that. I've had it breathing for like 4 hours or some close to that. And it's very similar to everything that you're saying. I find it's probably more red, which is like that ruby that you're talking about, and my glass is super tiny. I don't know why. We usually just do those little, like, I guess they're like whiskey glasses or something, but they're for like Italian wine. So I had to like hunt around for a glass. So this is mine, but it's acidic, but it's nice and smooth, and the more it breathes, the smoother it goes down. So I have no problem drinking a bottle, as bad as that sounds. So yeah, that's what I'm drinking.
That's awesome. I'm not able to see, but if is there any feedback in the chat? Has anybody else been able to find this wine and is tasting it along with us?
I don't see anything on Facebook. Stacey, do you have anything on Instagram?
I don't see anything yet.
All right.
But If anyone has any questions, feel free to, like Russ said, put it in the chat box, whether it's about the region, the producer, Nebbiolo in general.
And if you're watching this on the replay, still comment your questions because we will be able to get them. Just use the hashtag replay and then we will know and be able to kind of answer your questions. And if it's a bigger question, we might choose to do a live or a video about it so that we can kind of explain it a little bit better.
I did want to, Russ, to your point, like you were saying about food and wine pairings. That's one of the reasons why I love the Alisio, is because I think that this is something that stands up to just about, I don't want to say just about any dish, but, you know, whether it's pasta or whether it's, you know, red meat or maybe potentially like a very heavy fish dish. You know, it's still... it will complement your food, and sometimes I find when I'm drinking wine that I enjoy, it really starts to fight my food, or the alcohol comes through too much. So I'm still getting, like we were saying, like it's got great acidity and it's still got those nice tannins and the fine tannins, but it's not super, I guess, raisinous, and it definitely doesn't conflict with a lot of the seasonings, I guess, that people typically use.
Yeah, I think that's all. It's all spot on, and I think it's a good point about this wine. It's a very versatile wine. It can go with a lot of dishes. It's kind of given that it's a medium body wine, but it has high acidity. It means it can pair with a lot of different things reasonably well. And you threw out even like some of the seafood dishes could go with it, but certainly a pasta, a pizza, a grilled meat, a roasted meat. This wine would be very versatile and would stand up to that. Maybe a little more so than a Barolo. I mean, a Barolo can be kind of overpowering, so dishes on the milder side might suffer from that. But this is a very versatile food wine.
Now all I want to do is get the wine and cook something and like go live and talk about it. I just want to like eat and drink, and now I have all these ideas of other things I could make when it comes in.
We can always do another live with Pizza Caddy.
Yes, we should do that.
So yeah, it was funny. I was making a dish last night, so I had some Eastern European ancestry, and one of the dishes that my grandmother would make when I was growing up was called halushki. Halushki is it's essentially sautéed cabbage and egg noodles, and you add butter, salt, and pepper, and that's really it. It's kind of a comfort food dish. For whatever reason, I was in the mood to make that last night, and as I was making it, I was thinking actually of the pizzoccheri, which comes from the north of Italy, which isn't a place that you would think of when you put it in the context of Eastern Europe. But what you do think of it is that it's very close to the Alps, so that it's got sort of that rustic alpine feel to it. And so pizzoccheri is made with buckwheat noodles, but it's sautéed cabbage, and there's butter, and you have fontina cheese or Gruyere cheese, or a local cheese from the Valtellina, and it makes this really kind of hearty, full dish. And that dish pairs so well with this. As I was making the halushki kind of reminded me of that dish a little bit. And I thought, well, this would probably be a good partner for the Alisio. So yeah, when you get the wine, Lucretia, let us know, and we'll talk about preparing that dish, and hopefully it's a good accompaniment for you.
I definitely will, because now all I want to do is eat and drink, and I'm kind of mad at COVID, because if it wasn't for COVID, I don't think we would have had the shipping issues, but that's okay. We live and we learn, and we just move past it. But speaking of different like wines that we could do, if I hadn't had a Nebbiolo at home, what would you have recommended, or is there like something we can use to kind of shop in the store and like find something that's similar, that would give us similar flavors and pair well with like the dishes we've mentioned?
So one resource that we offer, and Wide Roots is an import wholesale company, so obviously we bring certain products in to the U.S. into Maryland, and we sell those. But one of the things, and part of our mission with people that drink wine or want to drink wine, is to help educate people on some of the great value wines that are out there. And one of the tools that we offer to do that, we offer for people that sign up for our email distribution list. So we email a few times a month, but if you sign up for that list, you'll get a copy of a quick reference guide, which is it's as simple as a 3-page document, and it's accessible from a smartphone, an iPhone, an Android phone. And the intent is that if you're in a store or in a restaurant looking at a wine list, you can get an understanding of what some really good value wines are, red and white rosé from those regions, and understand what you'll see in the description or on the label. The intent of that quick reference guide is, when I think back to when I first got into wine, I learned a few things about exploring labels and regions, and it really helped me to unlock this whole world. So hopefully, if you get that quick reference guide, that gives you some of the same things that I had, where you can essentially look for great value, things that deliver. They're flavorful, they're different, they're unique, but they're at maybe a $15 retail price point, $20 retail price point. So if you sign up for our email list, you'll get access to our quick reference guide, and the quick reference guide, it'll describe the characters of those wines as well, a little bit. So if you're looking for something specific and you're just trying to find something for dinner that night, or you're taking something to a gathering, then hopefully the quick reference guide can be something that you consult to look for something.
That is pretty awesome. I know that I've used it a few times actually. We have a couple wine stores here. I guess in Canada it's a little bit different. It's all kind of governed by the same space. So there's like 2 or 3 independents, but we have the LCBO, which is like the liquor license something of Ontario, where I am, and so that's where the majority of everything is. We do now, like as of 2 years ago, have it in grocery stores and stuff, but I take it with me. I created I made it into an app on my phone. So when I'm out and shopping and doing stuff for dinner, then I can kind of pair a nice wine with whatever I'm doing, and it's really easy because it's whatever is available in the store, or the LCBO is like across the street. So if I can't find it in the grocery store, then I go across the street. But yeah, it's been super nice to have that. And I think we have a reel that's posted on our website in a blog that shows you how to make the quick reference guide an app on your phone so that it's easier for you to access. But if you want that, you can always comment that too, and I can send you a direct link, or one of us can. It looks like we have some questions, though.
All right.
Lucretia, I was going to say, someone on Instagram asked how they can get on the mailing list.
So if you, so to answer the question, how do you get on our mailing list? There's a link in our Instagram bio that will take you to the newsletter sign up, and you can sign up for that. And I think the second you get a welcome, if you have any feedback, let us know. Email, type a response in the chat. All right. So I'm not sure what that sound was, but if I guess to finish the answer up, you'll get you'll get a welcome series. The second email of the welcome series will have the quick reference guide. So hope you find it there in the link to the bio.
Yeah, and
link in the bio.
Yeah, and then on Facebook, I believe there's a learn more button right on like the upper right hand side underneath like the cover photo next, like across from the profile picture. If you click there, you can sign up, and then so that would be the Facebook way to sign up. Or it says sign up. It might say learn more or sign up, and then you can sign up for the email list.
And I think worst case, if you go to our website on the home page, scroll down a little bit, there's a sign up box on the right side of the page.
And I will actually, after we're done this live, I will find the link to that reel because it looks like a few people are asking for it, and I will, if you just comment that you're looking for it, I will send you a message with that link to the video, so you can see how to turn the PDF into an app for yourself.
Lucretia, you said we had some questions from Facebook.
The question on Facebook was just about the app, and looks like Vincenzo says hello. I thought there was
Vincenzo.
I thought there was another one on Instagram though, something about cooking with you.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, Russ likes to tempt his followers with the delicious foods he prepares with his wines. And the question was if you or I, Lucretia, have stepped up our cooking games in response. My answer is no. I don't know if I will ever match Russ's cooking game. I'll try, though.
I always used to joke that I was the Italian or Sicilian, I guess, that didn't know how to cook, but the truth is I really enjoy it. I just really enjoy it in my own kitchen, so most days or most weeks, I guess, I take one day out of the weekend and kind of plan some meals, and I always like to try something new. I'm definitely not up to the same level that Russ is, but I will try and I will keep trying, and I am definitely going to try and make a few new dishes, especially the pizza cherry when I get the wine in, and I have to do it like gluten-free, but thankfully buckwheat noodles are gluten-free, so that should work. Yeah, I'll try. I'm game for anything. We can do a cook-off. Let's do one.
It's for me. It's a little bit.
Make my own egg noodles. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you know what? Fresh pasta noodles are very. Oh, okay, there I am. Fresh pasta noodles are actually not a big investment of time. I happened to find a dinged up pasta machine for like $25, and making fresh pasta noodles, it takes. I mean, obviously, it's more work than pouring dry noodles into boiling water, but it's not that much work, and the noodles actually cook a little bit faster. It's worth the time. You can make really good fresh pasta pretty easily, and then the other thing is you can do cool things like add squidding to it and make it jet black and have a nice seafood pasta, and it's like it's not difficult. If you want to learn more about it, ping us through the various social programs, and I'll be happy to talk with you ad nauseum about fresh pasta. But it is an effort well worth getting into.
Yeah, and my family makes a lot of gnocchi and ravioli, but we don't do a lot of fresh pasta per se, so that's definitely something that I want to try because I haven't found a good gluten-free pasta. Like, they're all right here, but in Italy I had some of the most amazing pasta, and to be able to recreate that would be amazing. So that is one of my goals for 2021, I guess, is to learn how to recreate the pasta dishes.
Well, as we get into kind of the last part of the live, so the announcement, the thing that we've been talking about this for a while, but we wanted to launch it in March. We've if you watch our social media, you'll see we do a focus, or over the last February, we did the focus on the Alisio. We're going to do a focus like that every month. We're going to pick one wine that we carry. It'll actually be a wine, a bottle that comes from a specific producer, so not just like a producer and all of their wines, but it's going to be one. And each month, we're going to get together on a live and taste the wine. When we had the opportunity, we're bringing in some of our retail partners here in Maryland, where we have placements of these wines, and they'll taste along with us. And so the next wine of the month focus that we'll have will be on the Canonized Sardinia from Adaria, our Sardinian wine producer. So Canonized is a red wine. It's genetically the same as Grenache. We've gotten very good reception with that wine here in Maryland, and we found a lot of points of distribution for that. So we're excited to bring that. It's a grape that, whether or not you can get Adaria or not, you should find Canonized wherever you can find it in your local areas. And if you want to taste along with us on the 31st of March, which is when we've scheduled our next event, we'd love to have your feedback on either the Adaria wine or the Canonized that you're able to find. And so we're excited about this. We think it's a good way to help people find new, interesting things that are of a good price point that you can either take home and it's really different and just a really good wine that you're happy to drink, or at the point that we can actually have gatherings, you take it to a party and it's an interesting wine and you can talk about it a little bit, and it kind of makes for a good conversation during a gathering. So these are the kinds of wines that we're sourcing at the moment. That's kind of what fits into our profile of what we are. So we're excited to bring those to you. And I know from my own perspective, every time we try these wines from a supplier, I feel like I'm discovering something. And it just reminds me of that whole journey that I've taken in finding all the great things that are out there. So stay tuned, follow us on social media, join our mailing list, and we'll see more about those events. We're excited to bring them to you.
We're also gonna put a question box or something in the stories today after this live. If you want to be put on the waiting list or reminder list or whatever you want to call it, to get notified and reminders sent out before our next March 31st kind of virtual wine tasting that we're doing, you can get put on the list. And it doesn't have to be, like Russ was saying, we're not limiting it to locals if you're in Baltimore or Maryland, because I'm in Canada, I'm still participating, so that's why we have other options. And we'll also be giving options based on the quick reference guide. So if you've got that downloaded, once you've got that, we'll, throughout the month, we'll kind of give other options and some food options, all of those things, so that you can kind of participate on if you want to with us and join us live next time. We might even entertain the idea of sending out the Zoom link so we can all get on and have a kind of group chat, and we can kind of all have some wine together. But if you don't want to drink wine and you just kind of want to join in the conversation in the community, that's fine too. We welcome anybody who is just maybe interested in wine, maybe you haven't started drinking wine, maybe you've got a lot of questions, anything like that. And we always use the hashtag WineMeWideRoots. So if you're ever buying one of our Wide Ridge wine, or you have a question, use that hashtag. Anytime you kind of want to give us a shout out, use the hashtag, and we will make sure to answer all your questions. We'll make sure to, if it's a cool picture, we might give you a shout out. We'll ask permission first, of course. But yeah, that's kind of our new signature hashtag that we've been quietly announcing. But yes, it's kind of going to be like a little bit of a wine club, but we're not dead set on the name. So if you're interested in joining, you will actually be part of the group that gets to choose the name, potentially choose the time slot if this 7 p.m. time is not ideal for everybody. We are going to do it the last Wednesday of every month though. And then we might do it 6, 7, whatever the most amount of people can attend is. But we'll ask you all of those questions. And if you've got anything that you want us to cover or talk about, that can be a thing too. So just keep commenting, keep sending us those DMs. And if you want to be on that list, that'll get the notifications when we're about to go live or doing special events like this. Make sure you put your email either in the comments or in the question box that we're going to have after this live. I think I hit on everything. Did I? Was that too much?
I think you did great. We appreciate all the follows and supports and comments and likes. All of it is very much appreciated. So thank you. Stacy, any closing remarks from your side?
No, this was great. I hope everyone who attended today attends at the end of the month, and I want to shout out my people from New York watching. So yeah.
Thank you. Lucretia, anything else?
I don't think so. I think I've got everything. I saw a couple of my friends and family come on, so thanks for joining. And now you know why I talk about wine more than normal. It all started at that wine tasting when I was studying in Turin, and 12 glasses of wine later, here we are.
That's awesome. So I'll just close it then from my perspective. I mean, these are gatherings, and we're getting together with friends, and a lot of us have met virtually. I know Lucretia and I met virtually. Stacy and Lucretia met virtually. We have yet to meet in person, and someday we'll do like an in-person Wide Roots convention or something like that. But this is, we've made a lot of friendships through the social media channels, and we appreciate all of those, and the support that we've gotten from when this was just an idea to now we actually have wines coming in on ocean freight ships, and we're selling those to retailers and restaurants, and it's been an amazing journey, and I'm so thankful for all of you that have supported us through that whole sort of trajectory that we've been on. So thank you. We hope that you tune in for these lives in the future, and we look forward to seeing you. And in the meantime, bevi italiano. Ciao. Arrivederci.
Ciao.
Ciao.